Guys, I'm excited to talk to you about gaslighting today. This is something that needs to be talked about a lot more. There's a lot of misunderstanding of what gaslighting is. Even I misunderstood gaslighting for a very long time. I didn't even realize why it was called gaslighting. And I mean, I know it was from a movie, but what does it mean? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you first. So do you know what gaslighting is? You've never heard of it before?
No.
Have you ever been like hurt in a way or called names or something and then they tell you that it's your fault?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Like it's make you feel like very sad. Like when I do like something, like when I do something good, like the people tell me like you do bad, like make my feel it's very like sad. Like what I do something very bad.
That's gaslighting. It happens everywhere, everywhere. Thank you. It's a way in which people are manipulated.
Oh, okay. I think I have. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like say you're in a relationship and you're being called names or whatever, and then they're saying it's your fault. You're the reason.
Oh, well, that sucks. I wouldn't appreciate that at all. But I didn't appreciate it when it happened. No. Yes,
So
no.
it's something that happened, huh?
It did happen. Yes.
I'm surprised at the amount of people who have experienced gaslighting in their life but don't know what it is, don't recognize it as something. And maybe you have these questions too, guys. So in this video, we're gonna break this down. We're gonna talk about everything about gaslighting, from why we call it gaslighting, all the way through to a simple to understand breakdown of the process of gaslighting, how it happens in your life, and what the results are. And then at the very end of this video, we're gonna talk about what you can do about it. All right, guys, so stay with me. We've got a lot to talk about when it comes to gaslighting. Let's talk about the word gaslighting. Where did this word come from? What does it mean? Why did they choose gaslighting? This is something that I didn't understand for the longest time as well. So the term gaslighting actually comes from a 1944 movie. And the story is about a con artist, a murderer, a very charming man who seduces this young woman into falling in love with him. He marries this woman, and what happens over the course of the marriage is he systematically begins to drive her crazy by doing little things like little lies and then bigger lies and accusing her of things and driving her crazy. And you might be saying, well, where does the gaslight part fit in? Well, at that time it takes place in a day and age where they still used lanterns for their primary source of light. So they had gas lights throughout their home. And one of the things that he would do was adjust and dim the gas lights or the lamps, the fuel burning lanterns. He would adjust them and play with them and manipulate them. And then when when his wife saw that they were dimming and changing, she would bring it to his attention. His response was, "You're crazy. You're imagining things. There's nothing going on with the lights." And this is why they call the story and the movie Gaslight. It's one of the ways in which he tried to manipulate her to make her feel like she was going crazy. Now, guys, I want to talk to you about how you and I come across this in our own relationships with abusive narcissists and other manipulative people, because gaslighting is used. And I've broken it down into 3 hopefully easy to understand ways in which you can process gaslighting and how it works. There's 3 ways we're going to discuss it in this video. Before we get into this video, guys, I do want to let you know that I have a course that is available. You're welcome to check out the Royal We course by clicking in the description box below this video. Simply drop down the description box. You'll see the link there. Click on that. It will take you to the Royal We course page where you can find out all about the Royal We course, guys, and I hope to see you there. Also, I am on Instagram. You can find me at Join the Royal We. Instagram is a great platform. It's a great place to communicate with a lot of people who are going through exactly what you're going through. So I hope to see you there on Instagram. All right, guys, so let's first talk about how gradual gaslighting is, how small it can start at the very beginning and then progress into something far worse, guys. Now, we all have had those instances where we were made fun of or called names or cussed at, and typically abusive narcissists will right away say, "I was just kidding." Now, you know deep down somewhere that they weren't kidding. It wasn't a joke. You could tell by their facial expression. You could tell by their demeanor. You could even tell by the way they say, I was just kidding. That they're not kidding. It's not a joke. This is already the beginning signs of gaslighting. It starts out as a defense mechanism from the narcissist. And if you are not careful to recognize these things in the very beginning, you're going to see how it progresses from these small defense mechanisms from the narcissist, meaning they're trying to protect themselves from any accountability. They're just saying, I'm just kidding, to deflect it. It's going to go from that to actually an attack tied to it. You can call it a counterattack because that's what they're going from. They're going from countering you, saying, I'm just kidding, or no, I'm not trying to hurt you. Right? That's called a counter. Then they're going to go from that to a counterattack gradually over time. The counterattack looks like this. No, I was just kidding. You're too sensitive. That's a counterattack. And what's happening gradually over time is they're doing what? They're hurting you with their words, and they're following that up with making you feel bad because you're being hurt by their words. You start to believe over time that maybe you are being too sensitive. You start to believe over time that maybe you are the one with the problem. But you're not. The problem is the abusive narcissist who wants to call you names and who doesn't want to have any accountability, who doesn't want to apologize, who doesn't want to care about your needs. That's the problem. Listen, in a normal relationship, in a healthy relationship, if something's said that bothers you and you let a normal person know about it, what are they going to do? A normal person's going to respond by saying, I'm just kidding, right? But if they still see that you're struggling, they'll follow up with that. I've done this before, maybe you have too. Go up to the person and say, hey, listen, I really was kidding. I'm sorry. I run away with my mouth sometimes. Forgive me. I really didn't mean anything by it. Boom! Resolves the issue right there. And you have the opportunity to say, hey, listen, that's cool. Please just be careful. Don't say that stuff. It bothers me, right? That's a normal, healthy relationship. That's not what happens with the narcissist. This is how you can tell the abusive narcissist from others. This is how you can tell manipulative bullies from other people, is they will tell you, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But since you want to start fights all the time, I'm going to pray for you. You're having issues. You're not the same anymore. And I've actually heard that myself, guys. I've had to tell abusive narcissists in my life, hey, please, don't call me names. Stop cussing at me. I don't like it. And I, in exchange, was told how selfish I am. You know what? You're so selfish. You're so selfish, Kevin. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray that God does something in your life. This is a counterattack from a manipulative narcissist, and it's a gaslighting attempt to make me feel that I was the bad one for not wanting to be cussed at. This is what they do, right? Let's talk about other ways that people can gaslight you. Manipulators can gaslight you to and do things to make you feel like you're the crazy one, and they're getting away with it. One is maybe they take something. Maybe you leave money out on the counter, okay? And you go the next day and the money's gone. The reason it's gone is because the abusive person, the narcissist, took it, probably spent it. But when you're looking around for it and you bring it to their attention, you say, hey, I know I had money there. An abusive narcissist will say, you're always losing stuff. You probably lost it like you did before. And they'll do this constantly. Once again, over time, it causes you to really feel like you have an issue and you never get answers for where things disappear to. It's a good way for them to get out of any accountability whatsoever. And in the process, they're destroying you and actually driving you crazy. All right, guys, so that's a little bit on the gradualness of gaslighting in an abusive relationship and how ultimately it leads you to believe that you're the crazy one, that you're the one that has problems, that you are the narcissist even. And I hear that a lot. I get a lot of phone calls from people who believe that they're the narcissist, they're the problem. Why? Well, because of everything we just said. They've been cussed at, called names, you've been ridiculed and criticized, and then you've been told that you're the reason why, you're the problem. You've been gaslit. That's what it is, all right? Now let's talk about why abusive narcissists do it. It is highly intentional. It's done on purpose. And it all comes down to control. Abusive narcissists want control. They want control over the entire situation. They want control over you and over their relationship. And what better way to have control than to make you feel like you are out of control? That's what they want. They want to lead you to believe that your morals and your standards and your beliefs is all wrong, it's out of control, and that whatever they say and whatever they do, and whatever they say and do can change from one moment to the next. Doesn't matter, because to them it's still the truth, and that's what's right, and that's what they want you to go by. They don't want accountability, they don't want responsibility, they want an enabler, and that's what they expect from you, to enable anything that they do. This is why they will challenge what's right and what's wrong to you. They'll challenge that. In the Bible, in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah 5:20, it says this, they say, talking about abusive people, talking about sinful people, they say that what is wrong is right, what is right is wrong, what is black is white is black, what is bitter is sweet, what is sweet is bitter. It's a warning saying these people that you're messing around with, these people want to confuse you. They want to confuse your understanding of right and wrong. Why? Well, because if you have boundaries, if you have a strong sense of what's right to you, then they won't be able to get anything from you. The only reason an abusive narcissist is gaslighting you is because, in a way, it's being allowed. Because there's been a breakdown in your boundaries. And they need to make sure that they keep your boundaries broken down. And the best way to break down your boundaries and keep them broken down is to let you know that you're wrong, that your boundaries are wrong, that your truth is wrong, that your understanding is wrong. This breaks down your boundaries, and it gives all the control of the relationship to the abusive narcissist to do whatever they want, to say whatever they want, to get away with whatever they want to in the relationship. This is why it's done intentionally. It's done on purpose. There's an agenda behind it. It has nothing to do with loving you. It has nothing to do with caring for you. It has nothing to do with concerning for you. And as you already know, abusive narcissists do not care, love, or concern for you whatsoever. They only want to control you. This is the reason, this is the purpose behind gaslighting, to control your knowledge and your understanding of right and wrong. Not only does it confuse you, but it can mess you up physically, guys. Being driven crazy in this way can actually cause you to go into depression. It can isolate you from the outside world. You can start to become distant from all of your family and all of your friends and those people who really love you. Why? Because you feel like you're crazy. It can cause severe anxiety in your life. You get anxious. You're anxious to approach people about anything because of this fear that they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Right? So anxiety, isolation, depression. You begin to shut down, close up like a clam. You don't want to talk to anybody. And you're so full of this hurt and brokenness. Right? It's a real systematic issue, guys. It causes real problems. It causes real physiological issues, illnesses and sicknesses, guys, as a result of being driven crazy from gaslighting. That's why it's important to make this video, and that's why it's important that we talk about this, guys, because I want to help you to break free by understanding what it is you're dealing with. Okay? So, now that we know that it's something that's gradual, now that we know that it's done intentionally and it's on purpose, now that we know that it's dangerous and effective if you stay in it and don't get out of it, now let's talk about what you can do about it. All right? The first thing that you have to understand is that you have been given a tremendous gift as an individual, as an independent individual. That gift is called the gift of discernment, the gift of free will, and also the gift of discernment. Discernment is something that we all have. Discernment, that gut feeling, that spiritual gut feeling that you have that says, this is wrong. This is a lie. Whatever this person's doing is wrong. Do not allow an abusive narcissist to override your gut feeling, your discernment. Nothing should override your discernment, guys. Your discernment is what's going to keep you alive in a life or death situation. That's your discernment, together with your awareness. It's all tied together. So you might be thinking, well, how do I trust my discernment? How do I get back to my discernment? Or what is my discernment even? discernment is attached to your wisdom. I've made videos on this, and I'll put some links below. Wisdom is a combination of what? Your knowledge, your experience, and your understanding, right? Your knowledge, the things you read, the things you're hearing out of my mouth right now. This is knowledge you're gaining. Your experience being gaslit before, your experience of being in an abusive relationship, your experiences. So your knowledge plus your experience and how you understand this all now, this forms your wisdom. Your wisdom becomes your truth. Your wisdom should be your guide in these relationships. Your wisdom should be your guide in all things. Not just listening to what other people say, but your wisdom. This is your discernment. This is how you go on discerning things. So now, when it comes to discernment, you get that gut feeling, you have to understand that everything inside of you is saying something. Your spirit, your discernment, your wisdom is saying, we've seen this before, we've been there before, this person's lying to you, this person's not being honest, get out of the situation. Hang up the phone, don't talk to them, don't listen to a thing they have to say. They're trying to lie to you. They're trying to get something from you. This, guys, is the only way to beat gaslighting. This is the only way. It's understanding that you have the power, you have the discernment inside of you, you have the wisdom and the ability coming out of this situation that you've been out of. You're alive still. Now use your discernment, use your wisdom, use that gut feeling. This is what's going to stop gaslighting, because listen, the truth is you are surrounded by gaslighters in your life. You're surrounded by them. They will always try to gaslight you. Always. All right, guys, I hope you found this video helpful and informative. And thank you for watching The Royal We. Bye.